What's up, everybody? I am in Hueytown, Alabama with Gusty Gulas. Today we're going to be talking about brick realty.
Sure.
Flashback.
Yeah.
One of the largest brokerages in the whole state of Alabama, completely shut down. We're gonna ask him about that. We're also going to do some property walkthroughs over here in Hueytown and also in Hoover. So those are going to be all linked up in because these are going to be separate videos. But I want to start, Gusty.
Yeah.
You're a realtor. You've been a realtor for a really long time, and now you're flipping houses. You haven't always flipped houses. Tell us what made you decide to start doing that.
You know, I've kind of always piddled in different things, and I've done probably about 2 flips a year for the last few years. And what's I've got 3 going right now. I've got another one under contract, and so about a year ago, I finished my master's in real estate development. And was on a path
from Auburn, by the way.
From Auburn, and I'm a huge Alabama fan, if everybody knows that. And so it was really hard to go to Auburn, but that program is like literally the #1 in the country for real estate development. So my focus was going to go and build affordable houses, but the problem is a lot of the costs are they're expensive, and it doesn't make a lot of sense, in my opinion, for the risk involved. So kind of pivoted and decided to say, all right, let's go into flipping, and let's go heavy into flipping. And at the same time, I'm helping, growing my real estate sales business too. So that was really kind of the reason for going a little bit more heavy into flipping. And so this will be probably my biggest year for flipping. But I mean, that's not a lot compared to a lot of people in this town.
So in your opinion, why do I feel like realtors have an advantage when it comes to flipping houses? Is that
I think so. I mean,
but you don't see many doing it.
Well, like anything, I mean, you're going to do things that you're interested in, or people have kind of coached and mentored you on. And I feel like, a lot of people get into real estate for the flexibility of the business, and a lot of people are don't have enough money behind them. And so, I think what's interesting, and probably what a lot of your folks that watch your videos don't realize is, the hard part is finding the house. The easy part is really finding the money. And I think for a long time, even from my standpoint, and being a part of over 3,000 home sale transactions, it's like, it can be stressful. But I think the hard part is just do the first one.
What can be stressful?
Putting it all together and doing the deal and having your money in it. But if you've got a good deal, I think you can go up to any investor and they would partner with you at some point. Or you can go get the money and whether it's hard money, whatnot. Luckily I've built up a really good business that I've got a really nice line of credit that I utilize all of my flips for.
Right. But how long have you been when did you do your first flip?
My first flip was in 2005.
Okay, but for to actually flip to make profit, and you actually wanted to turn it into a part of your business.
Yeah, I mean, really, that was right around 2020, 2021, okay, right. And I've been doing really a couple since then.
So, but Gusty, let's take me back pre-COVID then. Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong now, but you've been part of really big real estate teams for quite a while now. Yep. Here in Greater Birmingham, Central Alabama. How often would a big real estate team like that get a property that is flippable and sell it to someone who does that primarily?
I mean, I would say multiple times a month. And so, a lot of realization is, why should we do that for other people? And why should we not do it ourselves? And I think that was the biggest key. It's but I think there had to be that comfort level. You had to just be able to just, say the heck with it, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah. So, advice to realtors out there that are trying to start a real estate business. They're trying to grow their sales business, right?
Yeah.
And be a realtor. Is there something that maybe you would do a little bit differently going back, knowing what you know today as far as flipping houses?
Dude, first off, I would invest in real estate, #1. One of the things that somebody told me early on was buy 2 houses a year. Man, should I have done that a long time ago? That was #1. #2, I think if you don't feel comfortable on that first house, partner with an investor that has done it before so that you can kind of learn the ropes. So I would just say, don't be afraid, just do it. The money's there. If you're in real estate, the numbers. I know, I haven't lost on a deal, knock on wood, and I'm planning not to. But I know my numbers. I know, what's new for me is understanding the construction cost. And so that's really where I'm kind of learning. But as far as like values, man, I got that.
Yeah, for sure. Take me back to your brick days, because I mean, at one point, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, brick was, I mean, they were everywhere. Brick was massive and everywhere. And I think right before COVID hit is when you decided to pivot and go a different direction and kind of shut that whole thing down.
Yeah.
But, you know, now that you've had a lot of time to reflect, you know, 5 going on 6 years to reflect from brick being gone, what's like a big takeaway? I mean, I'm sure you don't regret it, but like, I mean, just take us through it was so big. Why did it end?
I thought there was a better model that was out there. I mean, ultimately, we merged the company into EXP, which is a cloud-based brokerage, which offered revenue share for people. It offered stocks for folks, and it offered more training. So while we had a super cool brand, we had amazing folks that were on the team. We grew. We were number 3 in units, number 4 in volume from a brokerage standpoint.
In the state.
We were growing. Well, that was in the Birmingham market.
Okay, in Birmingham.
We were a top 500 Real Trends independent brokerage in the country, which is pretty incredible. Something I'm very proud of. But you know, when you're running a brokerage and building a brokerage, there's a lot of risk. There's a lot of liability. There's some things I never thought I'd had to deal with. I mean, I had to deal with an accusation of an agent dealing with sexual harassment, and that was something that, like, that one little thing could have ruined everything for my family. And it wasn't me; it was something an agent did. And I'm like, man, that's a little too much for me. And I just felt like there was something better that was out there. And you know, looking back, brick I consider kind of my MBA. I learned a lot, met a lot of amazing people. And, you know, I would start the company again, but I would also merge the company again. You know, I feel like in the cloud-based model, a lot of people, you know, there's options for stock. And, you know, what do most people do as an independent contractor in real estate? They have no retirement program, you know, unless they're doing their own SEP or they're investing in real estate. But most of the time, people aren't doing that. And so that when I merged it with EXP, that was it gave it the ability for people to retire at some point.
Tell us what your real estate team looks like today, because I know you're still selling houses.
Yeah. We've got 20 agents. We've got some amazing agents. We've got 6 staff, many that have been with me for years. Last year we sold almost 250 homes. Again, we've, you know, over the last decade we've sold over 3,000 homes. And so, you know, a lot of times I've got people that are brand new, but I've also got people that have been on the team for 8 years. And so, you know, we've got a dynamic group of folks, and really what I'm looking for is I'm looking for agents that want to learn from me, that want to grow their business. And I've got people that are part-time and full-time. Actually, the person that has the most homes under contract right now is somebody that's part-time. Pretty interesting.
And you might be looking for some people who want to learn how to flip some houses. Maybe you can show them a thing or two.
Yeah. You know, and that might be even somewhere where I can partner with them, even as well. So yeah, you know, I think a lot of people are interested in flipping. They just don't know necessarily how to do it. I think what you're providing is a great way to give information that's out there. So I definitely think that's super cool. But yeah, I love giving back to the community. I mean, that's part of the reason why I was president of our association, giving back to our industry. And so if there's people that are out there that are hungry to learn, not only to grow their real estate business, but to grow their flipping business, I'm down. I'd love to chat with them. So
before you were president at BAR, Birmingham Association of Realtors, I was asked to speak there. I think this was probably 2019, may have been 18 or 19. And I was told at that time is the only time they ever sold it out when they weren't offering CE.
Oh, cool.
And the topic was, how can a real estate agent, how can a realtor make money with investment properties, flipping houses, and it was packed full of realtors. And I remember specifically asking the question to a room full of realtors. I think it was like 70 realtors. How many does that place seat? 70 or so?
Yeah.
There was like 70 realtors in there. I asked the question, who in here gets a property on a somewhat regular basis that they're like, they turn it away? It's too disgusting. There's no way I'm going to list this thing. Who would turn that away? Almost the whole room raised their hand. I'm like, what would you do with that property?
Yeah.
We don't know what to do with that property. Well, that's a flip opportunity.
Yep.
It's a rental opportunity. It's a wholesale opportunity. There's lots of opportunities for realtors to get involved in real estate. And you're a lot of times the front line for the consumer that doesn't really know any better.
Yeah. I think the hard part is knowing which hat you're wearing. So, you know, we have ethics that we've got to follow, a part of the National Association of Realtors. And so you've got to, I feel like there is kind of a fine line that you've got to work. But I disclose like, hey, I'm licensed in the state of Alabama. I'm going to be buying this to sell it and flip it and make a profit. And I think as long as you disclose all that, then there's a comfort level. But I think there are some people that are a little nervous about that too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was told from the beginning with the real estate commission, because I used to be a licensed realtor as well, as long as you're disclosing. Yeah. You have to tell the consumer, because you have a fiduciary responsibility for sure. As long as you let them know everything you're doing and being transparent with them,
that's right.
You should be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, listen, we're going to go take a tour of this property. So tune in, click the link right here. I think it's going to be right here below me. Click the link to watch this tour of this house over in Hueytown.